Hey everyone, welcome to Femme Fables. Megan here.
With Rocky, once again.
And today we are talking about breakups. So for those who don't know, I started this podcast when I was going through a breakup. Not only going through a breakup, but it was during COVID. So couldn't fucking go anywhere, stuck in my house, crying my eyes out. So we had an episode about breakups before, but I wanted to revisit it again, especially now that I have Rocky on here to kind of get like, what does a guy go through during a breakup, right?
The male aspect.
So we're gonna talk through that.
These are all secrets now. Like y'all.
He's giving us his trade secrets.
Guys, don't be mad. It's just.
He's trying to help the ladies.
We handle breakups a little bit different. I'm just trying to help the females.
Right. I think it's good to see both sides.
Yeah.
Because I think. And not only from a male-female perspective, but I think too, like, I think people think that, like, when somebody, like, the dumper doesn't have a hard time, which I've dumped people, and that was probably harder for me than when I got broken up with sometimes, depending on the situation.
And I can be honest, like, that's always been my theory when, not necessarily that we played the, oh, she dumped me or I dumped her, but it was more like, she was more like, had it together. Like I was like upset. I'm like, damn, I'm losing my chick. And she was just like,
stoic.
So y'all like, that's the thing I've learned about women, especially from my little sisters, my cousins, etc. You guys get like this poker face on, and we're over here like this bitch. Like we talk amongst ourselves. We're like, dude, she is so fucking rude. You should have saw her. She was like basically pushing my shit out the door. We don't know that when y'all close the door. Oh my god.
I mean, I did a podcast, so I was very open about, what I was going through. But here's the thing, though. So something you kind of brought up. I think we live in a society today where we are like, don't show both sides. Don't show emotion. Get over it. And I was watching a TED Talk today because, I like to watch stuff on the topic. But don't roll your eyes. I'm preparing.
Prep.
So we have shit to talk about,
Prep.
And it said, there's no ritual for mourning the loss of love. Which is true. We have a funeral, like the death of a life, you know what I mean? Like, but there's no playbook for, I just got my heart ripped out of my chest and I'm completely heartbroken. What do I do? And most people will be like, oh, you'll be fine. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Yeah, all the fish are fucking trash. Trash.
I mean, come on. And
we got piranhas up in this bitch.
That's obviously a whole nother thing, but it's like, why do we put up with shit for so long? I mean, if it's so many fish in the sea.
There's no trophy fish. They're all
Not
trash.
At all. Dead.
No,
dead. Motherfucking tilapia out there and shit. Bait fish. Don't eat that shit either. Don't let me hear y'all talking about y'all eating tilapia. That shit is bait fish.
I stopped.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. There are plenty of great people out there. So anyways, we joke. If you're going through a breakup, first I want to say I'm so sorry. I know exactly how you feel. I do want you to know, though, you will get through it. I promise you. Promise.
Yeah, you definitely will. I always tell people, because, I mean, I went more of the life coach thing, like the psych and whatever you want to call them. That just never worked for me, because I ended up being like Ari Gold on Entourage and telling my therapist, that she was a fucking pussy-ass dime store therapist, like Jeremy Piven. That was my thinking, like we just didn't mesh.
Yeah.
So I'm more like
and
the
that's
life
important
coach
if you go to therapy, yeah.
So a lot of things that my life coach helped me with is she's like, you got to realize that you can't expect anything. Like you just have to live day to day. So that's what I always tell people. Just take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
No 2 days are going to be the same.
Nope.
Tomorrow you're going to be like, I want to get them back. Like I've, in my past, I've composed the whole message. Tony will be like, yeah, I see. I know what time it is. You write another one of them famous rock books, right? And then I find myself being like, no, fuck that shit, right?
Yeah.
So it's this whole misconception, and from the woman's perspective toward a guy, like you guys don't think that we like really mourn or like that we're upset. Like part of the things that identify us as fuckboys are part of the. It's like when we get our heart broken, like I've always said, we don't give our hearts.
Yeah.
Like
so when you give it and it gets broken,
oh man,
never again.
Savage, bro. Like seriously,
never love it again.
Because then you're like,
I'm gonna be hoeing these streets.
So exactly thought box, as they say, right? So, but that's the truth, because as a guy, you're like, all right, your whole life you're taught to just be like, suck it up. move on.
Don't show emotion.
Don't be a pussy. Don't show emotion, right?
You're weak if you do.
Like
Which
my mom's
going to be our next
4'10"
episode.
and 4'11", and she would be like, you better fucking chill. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Which
right?
is going to be our next episode about male vulnerability, by the way.
Like, yeah, I mean.
This is a good plug for that because that's going to be the next one.
Yeah, so everyone thinks that we just kind of break up and we're just like trying to get to the next chick. Like, if you had a real connection as a man, it's not going to be the same. You can't just go out there and sleep around.
Yeah.
When you're young, you're young and dumb and, full of cum, as they say. And, you're going to go out there and you think, oh, Sonya, but as you get older, like, I even remember telling one of my exes this, I'm like, it's not even about that physical stuff anymore. As you get older, it's more about that connection you have with that person.
Yeah.
And for us, again, like, we're not emotional people, so it's kind of like you go through these ups and downs, and then you try to talk to someone like you, and you're just like super blood raw female friend. Like, it's like, oh well, call the wrong person today. Look.
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm pretty.
No, you're straight.
Because that took time for me to become vulnerable, and having the podcast probably helped that out a lot because I wanted to help people go through the same thing I went through, and I kind of want to talk about the stages that you go through in a breakup, and we can kind of talk through them a little bit because the goal of this is to help somebody going through a breakup. And the first one is you want to see closure and you want answers. Why didn't it work? What happened?
I don't really think that there's a such thing as closure, and I may sound ignorant saying this, but I'm sorry, I stand on it. Because if I'm going over to her house, and we're supposedly, this is closure, we're discussing how we're going to move forward. I mean, is that what you're discussing? Are you trying to give that person the red light or the green light to go out there and do what they want to do? Or I don't really know what the purpose of closure is, because when you really love somebody, I don't feel like there's a such thing as closure. Like, I'm going to sit here today and say, oh, I'm good. Megan gave me the closure I needed. But I really love Megan? No, because fucking 6 months from now, like, I'm going to be like, still wanting that. There is no such thing as fucking closure. People say that so they could get the last bit of sex out of you. Okay? The last date.
No, I mean it more so I kind of got the fade away. I didn't actually get like, hey, we're breaking up. So that was harder for me to process because I didn't understand. And we got into an argument, and then it was kind of like, I need space. I tried to cling harder to the person when they said that. And then it was just like a slow fade until we just blocked each other, and then, whatever. Now it's just this like cycle of whatever we have going on. But anyways.
Space, I just feel like that's such like reminds me of high school.
Yeah, but I think if somebody truly is like, hey, I'm not happy, whatever the reasons are, which is going to come to the, like, almost the last step is acceptance. And I think that's really the closure, but that's the acceptance you give yourself of the fact that it's over. So, yes, if you truly love somebody, you want them to be happy, and it's a hard thing to get through. And it took me, and don't rush yourself, it took me 1.5 years to get to that point.
Yeah, but there people kill me saying that there's some type of time frame. Like,
yeah,
I tell people it's in your own time, and I mean I can be honest. Like, maybe I don't have to say any names or situations, but it's taken me before, like a year or two, honestly, because I think there's a different couple levels of acceptance. Like, most people, you end up finding out they moved on.
Oh, let's talk about that.
You're looking at that person versus you.
Do not stalk the social media. Don't do it.
Yeah, like how they interact, how they are on social media, things like that. You're like, damn, like, what's up with...
That's exactly what happened to me. I found out 2 months later they moved on to somebody else, and that was a big blow, mostly to my ego, right? Like, what the hell? Like,
yeah, but come on.
But...
Malibu, South Tampa, Stacy.
There's a meme that says, like, when I go looking for something and I get my feelings hurt.
That's what I don't look. I tell people that, like, I don't look at all.
That's another thing. So there's like all these debates, like, should you block your ex or whatever? And my thing is, do what's right for you. If you are strong enough mentally to not look and still just like mute them or unfollow or whatever, more power to you. I was not. I blocked. Fucking block. Everybody blocked.
I mean, and I think that's natural. Like, I kind of have a mix of both.
Yeah.
some are like blocked.
Yeah.
And other situations aren't.
Yeah.
Because
you know, I still follow
it just
friends
depends.
with people on Facebook that I've dated.
Yeah.
When it's in a 4-year relationship with, you know what I mean? But
it depends on the situation. I just think that we live in a different era. You know, I always say this, like it's not like the old-fashioned days, like the old days, right? Mm-hmm. More, it's like it's all out on social media. Before, you didn't know that Grandpa was riding up on the damn buggy
I wish
with
we could
another
go,
lady.
I wish we could go back to where there's no social media. Sometimes I can't stand it.
I just think it's a gift and a curse. It is.
Yeah, it keeps you connected with people, but then it also keeps you connected with people.
With the bullshit, yeah. and you can't be looking at that shit. Like you just said, don't be looking. So
I'll give you guys a tip if you find yourself having a hard time not looking because you haven't blocked or whatever. You go to unblock, you look, you block back, whatever. When I was going to counseling,
just giving y'all the game. I don't got time for all that.
Yeah.
Block list long.
I know the ins and outs, but so when I was in counseling, I found it very hard not to go and look at what my ex was doing with his new girlfriend or whatever. And she's like, anytime you have that thought, go do something. Go hang up a piece of clothing. Go hang up, like, you just got to stop your brain because then it starts, like, spiraling, right? Like, now I got to look, oh my God, they're on a date. He didn't take me there. He didn't do that with me. He didn't take me to dinner. Like, and
why
then
is he
you're just
looking
like,
at her like that? Why is he?
Right,
why is she commenting on the picture?
Right,
why is this, right?
And it could be nothing. It could be like, oh, damn, there's a girl. And it's like, that's his cousin, bitch. You just never met her. Like, you know what I mean? But then you just went into a tailspin. And that's the other thing, too. When you find out sometimes that your ex has moved on quickly, you start, or even like it, I think it's a stage of breakup, the anger. Like now I'm like, fuck you. Like now I got a grudge. I'm going to be posting all these photos in my bikini, my revenge body, which, hey, I'm all for it. Like, revenge that body, get in shape, do what's right for you.
It's always good.
I did the same thing. I wasn't posting bikini photos, but I was posting about my progress and I lost a bunch of weight. And
as you should.
Felt really good. Like, I'm all for all that stuff, but don't do it because you're trying to get the attention of your ex.
No, because I just, and that's what I was about to say. Like, if that's what starts it, starts you on a healthy journey, because that's why I started. I was, I was 400 and some pounds. Mm-hmm. I called my wedding off, this and that, and I got back out there, hitting the gym, all that good stuff. So that like kick-started it. Then the rest was just me wanting to live. So like, don't hesitate to do something for yourself.
No,
if that's running, walking, riding a bike, start somewhere. Then just and don't, like, at the end of the day, regardless, you're human. Once you start losing weight, it is like a revenge thing. Like, but after that,
I'm going to show him, look how hot I look. He's going to want to come back.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like, do you really want somebody to come back to you just because?
Because you look better. That's silly shit. That's superficial. What we really don't want to get involved with. So the brighter side to that is eventually you'll get the confidence and stuff like that. That comes with it, and you'll ultimately be able to move on. So
exercise helped me a ton. Yeah. Just like releasing endorphins and things like that, eating healthy, not drinking a lot, like it just got me in a better mental space. So I'm all for show off that body, do whatever you want, but do it for the right reasons. Like,
absolutely,
not
do it for yourself.
The grudge. I'm going to show my ex what he lost and how good he had it, because I can tell you what, he probably doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't. Honestly, we do and we don't.
Yeah, I've been guilty of the same thing. Like posting something because I'm like, I hope he sees this shit. Karma's gonna get you, motherfucker. And then I'm like, what am I doing?
Let me go call her real quick.
Yeah, right? They're like, oh, look at her. She hasn't moved on. Right. Oh, she's really in it, And I'm not saying be fake about it. Like, just be real about it. Like, I had a podcast. I talked about shit. I couldn't make it through one meeting without wanting to cry my eyes out, in between. And that's okay. And that's the other thing too. Feel, again, people, male and female, like, right? They're like, oh, toughen up. You don't cry over him. He doesn't deserve your tears. No, cry that shit out.
Oh, yeah, no, you gotta let that shit.
Let it go. But don't let it consume you.
Yeah, no.
Feel it in the moment, cry it out, and then get back up.
Throw on some.
Adjust your crown.
Throw on some Drake, that light skin love music, a little Bryson Tiller, maybe, Chris Brown, something. Get in your feelings. It's okay.
And you're going to go, trust me, I went through the grudge and the anger and, like, I would hit you with a car if I saw you mentality.
Yeah, but, like, we've all
Because I
been
feel
there.
like I was wronged.
That's human nature.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So I don't think it's
at the end of the day, that's not the truth. So that's okay. I tell people
like
it's
we
okay
said,
to.
we're the most mad at the people we cared about the most.
Yeah. Plus, it's okay to let that shit out some days and just be like, "Fuck this motherfucker." If I see, because I've always said, if I see that bitch on the side of the road broken down, I'm gonna keep driving. I'm gonna honk. And it's like, I'll be like,
yeah,
I'm
gonna stop.
So it's okay. You gotta let that shit out. You gotta tell yourself. I tell people, talk to yourself. All right, just don't answer yourself. Let me catch you answering yourself in your land of the lost. But at the end of the day, like you gotta hype yourself up. You gotta be your own hype man or hype woman.
Yeah.
Like
be your own cheerleader.
It starts with you.
Right.
Right. So if that's what you gotta tell yourself to get past it, that you're just gonna run this motherfucker over with your car. Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I've had those moments, and then the only thing is I don't think you should hold on to for too long because it's only being detrimental to yourself. Holding on to anger is not healthy.
It's not healthy at all because once you blow up,
yeah,
it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I tell people is, let it out, scream, do whatever you have to do, because it could potentially, make the situation worse. Like sometimes you flip out and you black out.
Yeah.
So talk to someone.
I went through counseling.
Go through some type of counseling. Get yourself a life coach. Comment. Whatever.
Email me if you
do.
need to vent.
So,
and I had a girl email me after my first breakup episode, I think, and just sent me all this long list. Like she's with this guy for years, and he moved on really quickly, and she's devastated, and it was like a novel, and I was just like,
because people are real, like, and I mean, with all the suicide and shit that goes on, especially people I know recently, like someone that I, was my boy, but I just feel like you have to talk to people, or you have to
talk about it. Do
get
not
that shit out, and then I think sometimes it's too late, like, so if you keep holding it in, by that time you've like gotten to that other point.
Yeah, the next is the acceptance piece, which that took me a while to get to. But I did eventually get to the point where I would tell myself, if this person's truly happy, I'm happy for them. We don't have to be best friends. We don't even have to keep in contact. I wish you the best.
That's the mature thing to do. And as you grow
and
get
older,
yes. I used to hear people say that when I was younger, and I'd be like, "You're fucking right. I don't want that bitch to be happy, right?"
Yeah.
But then once I got older, I'm like, "Hey, like, I cared about that person. Why would I not want them to be happy just because it's not with me?"
Yeah.
Like, if him, her, whoever she chooses makes that person happy, I'm 100% for it.
Right.
Because I couldn't make you happy, so you couldn't make me happy, or however it went. So we both have to find our happiness and cheer for people regardless.
Yeah. And it's not...
I cheer for my exes. I mean, even some of y'all know who, shout out to the ginger man.
So, yeah, I think, too, it comes with time. It comes with maturity. It comes with I've been heartbroken many of times in my life, right? And I've always gotten through it, right? But in the moment, you're like, I'm never going to get over the love of my life. I'm never going to meet anybody. I'm going to be allowed.
For me, like, I think this is all of us, right? It's the anxiety for me. And then my dumb ass, like, I can't be telling y'all all my game, first of all.
Oh.
I was about to, let me adjust myself before I go telling too much. But for me, I'm like very analytical. So at Friday at 7 o'clock, when I'm walking out of the gym, I'm like, damn, this bitch is probably on a date with another motherfucker right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like, I remember something on a Saturday. I'm like, I wonder if she's at our breakfast spot with him. You know?
Yeah.
You pull up real quick and do donuts.
Yeah,
in the parking
stalk
lot.
your ex in person.
No, I would never do that, obviously. But no, just like, and then I've had my boys be like, oh, today was the day we went kayaking. I'm like, you little bitch. But then the truth is, I've helped my boys through some shit just as they helped me. Like, so I think that's probably the toughest for me. And I think a lot of men will identify with that. It's like you start thinking about little stuff because we automatically think y'all got, the dude at work.
Really?
Yeah, we always think y'all got back up.
Huh.
Men, tap in and tell her, like, women can get away with cheating and being slick and all that much more than us. They invented the shit, all right? They're slick, all right? Because they'll be like, my work husband. We can't have a
you and
work
the work
wife.
husband,
We couldn't have
man.
a work wife. If we had a work wife, y'all would fire us.
My work husband, I was his work wife.
See? Does his wife know about his work?
Yeah, I've been in their house with him and her. Not like that.
What are we saying, Megan?
Oh my god.
No, but seriously, I just, as guys, guys can identify with me. We automatically think like, oh yeah,
Okay.
that one homeboy.
I think women do that too. I think
y'all think anyone.
I think we're all like,
which one? Which cousin is she? What was she first, second?
Especially if they move on quickly, you're like, was this bitch always there? Where's this person? Was this the reason why you left me? Like,
I mean, I think that goes both ways.
Yeah, no, either way. Like, I think.
Because, I mean, I've even seen you before, and you're hanging out with a guy friend. I'm like, who the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying?
And I will tell you guys, I tried to move on very quickly. I got back on the dating apps, swiping, going on dates,
such a waste of time.
I think I almost broke down on one of my dates because I was just not ready. I was like, you're not him, and I want to be with him, you know?
Exactly,
and,
man.
Yeah, don't do that. Even though on the TED Talk today, it said studies show, some journal thing did a study, that rebound relations actually help you move on quicker. But, caveat, I'm going to give you a caveat, but don't do it at the expense of your own heart or somebody else's.
I was going to tap in and say, it's okay that you choose what you need to do. Like, if you need a friend with benefits, whatever, it's just being upfront about that shit.
Yeah. Like, hey,
don't
I'm
be
not
going
in a
over
healthy
here
place.
talking about I'm looking for my baby daddy and I want to have kids in a year, and you just need to use this guy to get to who you really need to be with.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of females will lie about that. Like, a lot of men will lie about that. People in general. Like, people will be like guys will be like, man, she did it. And then y'all will be like, he did it. No, it's like, we both will bullshit. Yeah. And I think when you first get really your feelings hurt, you go back to, I want to be monogamous and I want kids and I want the family type of lifestyle. So that like fucks you up. You go on your first day and you're like, wait, that's not her. You know, like you said, that's not him.
No, right. Yeah, because you've barely healed. And like Rock said, like if it's, hey, I need a friend with benefits because I need just like a physical companion or whatever, and you're both on the same page about it, I think that's cool. It's don't go waste somebody else's time when you know you're not in an emotionally good place. Like they want a relationship, but you're over here still, looking at your ex's stuff and stalking them and crying at night. You know, you're probably not in a space. People are human. We all fuck up. Trust me. I fucked up big time with trying to jump right back into it. And then I didn't go on a date probably for 6 months.
Well, because the other side of that too is people are like, well, this person would be great, but at a different time, right? And no one knows how to say
right
that.
Right person, wrong time?
Yeah, right person, wrong time.
Is that a thing, do we think?
I 100%.
So?
So, but you don't want to, you're not going to, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be like, hey, you're the right person who I've been looking for my whole life. Can we pause this until I get my shit together? Because we're so afraid of what that person's going to say. I mean, you don't know how that person feels. Right. They may say, hey, let's just keep chilling. I mean, I had a buddy call me earlier and he was like, yeah, she's just tripping because we've been seeing each other for a year and she wants the title and she wants me to say I love her. And I mean, I hated to sound rude. I was like, but I agreed with him. Like, it's not really broke. Don't fix it. Yeah. Like, he takes her on dates. He sleeps at her house.
But she wants more.
4 to 5 times a week. Okay, but we don't give our hearts, man. He had his heart broken.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of them.
For the streets. Last but not least
for the streets. You hear this chick? For the fucking streets. Wow.
So, geez. The final thing is hopefulness, and I will tell a personal story of how I got there. I honestly did not think I would find somebody I connected with again. I was like, I'll never feel that physical attraction, and like, I was dating this person during COVID, so we were together a lot, and we could exist together right away a lot. So it was very, what's the word I'm thinking of? Domesticated very quickly. Right? Dinners, making dinner together, laundry, you know what I mean?
So you mean to tell me you didn't make him no popcorn, huh?
No, he got Gordon Ramsay filet mignon, loaded baked potato. Yeah, he got the works. Anyways, so, gone on dates, been dating, right? 18 months since the breakup, and I connected with somebody on a dating app, and I felt that spark. What?
You go ahead.
And I didn't think I was gonna have it, and we FaceTime, we had a connection. Like, I felt that, like, oh wow, like, I'm really interested in this person. I'm attracted to him. He's smart. He's funny. He lives in another state. There's
always that but. I know
like,
it
to
was
say
coming.
that I didn't think, yeah, you probably know what I was talking about. And then,
Exactly.
yeah, well, I'm going to meet him next week. He's coming here. Oh
shit, stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned
for that. But yeah, because I think people who go through it, and like you said, heartbreak, male or female, you get into that, like, I'm never going to feel this again for someone.
Oh, yeah.
And especially because dating's so hard these days, and you get dating duds. Go to catch the last episode, right? You go on these dates and nothing pans out, and you're just like, fuck. Like,
damn, I just wasted my time real quick.
And, try not to see it as a waste. A lesson, maybe. Yeah, but that is tough not to. Trust me, I get woe is me all the time. Like,
oh, no, I don't. No.
Oh, I do. I was telling my friend Amber yesterday, I was like, maybe I missed my timing. Maybe I'm going to live this life alone. I know. I get into I'm allowed to be in my feels.
She's in her Drake's.
I was in my feels.
Are you riding?
I want to have kids and I want to get married, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. There's nothing wrong if that's not what you want. But
no, I know. I feel you. Like I say that all the time. Like I need a little Barack, need a little rock, It's tough out here, man. Find them carriers.
But I think, remaining hopeful and then realizing, what did you say? We grow through what we go through.
Yeah, you grow through what you
and
go through.
And I will tell you, had I not gone through that heartbreak, I wouldn't have this podcast. I wouldn't probably have reconnected with you as much as we have recently. I wouldn't have been able to help some people. You know what I mean? There's all these things that came out of it. I learned a lot about myself with my relationship struggles, why I act the way I do or react. Being vulnerable. All these great things came out of it. So I can't look back and say, wow, I learned nothing from it. But I don't think if you do the work either, you'll just miss out on where was the lesson at in this. Because if somebody breaks up with you, it probably wasn't a great relationship. There was something going on, whether partly their fault, your fault, both faults, whatever. There were issues. It wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, there's always a reason.
Or they stay and try to work through it. So, but some people run at the first sign of problems. That's their avoidant personality sometimes. So
I think it's just human nature to avoid. And especially as you start to get up in age and you've been hurt and you've been through some things and you've lost people, and I just think at some point, like, life kind of comes full circle, and you kind of just pinpoint what you want, and that's the reason for days like you said, like where you're like, fuck, it's just I'm never gonna find it.
Right.
Should it be this hard? I don't fucking think it should. I don't care how many of these we do. I'll always say that we as humans, and you can't pinpoint a gender. You can't say male or female. Mm-hmm. You can't say. I think we in general as humans make this relationship hard. I think the older generations, they just got together. They made it fucking work. When mom and dad had an issue, they waited till everyone went to bed. They went out back. They hashed it out, and they kept on moving on in life. Now everyone's like, fuck that, I'll just get back on Tinder and Bender and Match.com and Easy.com and all that is just bullshit, easy ass ways. I believe that things aren't so traditional because everyone hides behind a fucking keyboard.
Yeah, that's true. But, so, we'll wrap it up. Hopefully if you're going through a breakup, not hopefully if you're going through a breakup, but hopefully this helped if you're going through a breakup, and maybe you got some laughs out of us just fucking with each other like we usually do.
That's what we got to do. I hit the mic like 10 times. She's going to cuss me out.
That's all right. I'm gonna yell at him when we're off camera. But if you are going through a breakup, again, we feel your pain. Comment, let us know if you got through a breakup, how you got through it. And I said something on one of my episodes one time. I watched Matthew Hussey a lot, and this guy was in the audience, and he was like, she moved on, whatever, she's my person. And he goes, you think they're your person? He's like, yeah, she's my person. And he says, wouldn't your person choose you?
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, but that's so true.
Damn.
Your dream person is not with someone else. They're with you.
Yeah, listen.
So if they're not with you, they're not your dream person. But it's hard to.
I don't even have anything to say. That's like a mic drop right there. I'm silent for a change.
I silenced him. Wow. So hopefully, again, this helped. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. A lot of people who view our channel aren't subscribers, so it just helps the channel
y'all stop
grow.
being lazy. The Ashleys of the world saying you don't have a YouTube. Create a fucking YouTube account. Stop being lazy. I don't want to hear that shit. Like, I keep my life super secret, and I got a fucking YouTube. All right, I don't want to care about confidentiality, and I don't want my work people to find out. Like, subscribe, follow, tap in, do what you gotta do. Let's go.
Email us at femfables@gmail.com. And if you are going through a heartache, heartbreak, best of luck to you. Feel free to reach out if you need somebody to talk to. And we will see you guys on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.